Well folks, welcome back to the workshop. Today we have something new for you. This is a machine I haven't seen before or worked on. It's an AGP water-cooled diamond core drill. And not the cheapest of units. I think these things go for about £1.5 grand. It's the DMC6P. And she is a 2021 machine actually. She doesn't seem to want to turn anyway. I've got no information. The box has the man's phone number and his name, but no description of what's wrong. So, assuming there's something wrong on the inside. So, I'll switch on first and see what the crack is. Ah. Right. She doesn't want to spin anyway. Something is stopping it from turning. That's what that straining sound is. I would imagine a bearing, but can't be sure. Hoping the motor's not gone there anyway, because I have no supplier for these here parts. Get under here. Let's see what we can do. A little bit rusted, but they came out easy. So let's say somebody might have opened this already. I can smell the oil inside of this thing. Ah, here we go. That's gone for a start. Brushes aren't gone, mind you. Oh god, that doesn't turn at all. Yeah, no wonder. I can't turn that armature even by hand. So that's out of gear. So the gearbox is free to turn. Still, that doesn't want to shift. So there's something badly wrong in there. Right. Strip it apart. See what we can do. Still a good bit of meat left in the brushes, mind you. Now, do I have to take this handle apart to get into here? I wouldn't imagine so. Screws at the front anyway. See, that's how tight they should be. This is going to be a little bit of a messy job because it'll be more than likely a liquid oil up in here. At least that's what it smells like. That's going to strip. They came out. So to get this one out, this is all seized. I'm sure it has metal. Nice one. Ah, here's the problem. That there is the air deflector. As you can see, it's actually been rubbing on it. That's the problem there. Bearings don't help, mind you. She looks a decent machine, but whenever you see cable ties on a field, it doesn't fill you with confidence. Yeah, there's not much lacquer in that field either. Does the job. It's only a field, but still, you'd like it to be dipped or something a wee bit better than that. This one, nice big heavy windings. This is more dipped. There's a lacquer coating all the windings there is. And she's cord wound up here as well, with extra resin put on. So armature's pretty decent. That bearing needs to be changed, and more than likely this one. See if it sounds alright now. Because this here's actually okay. It was just the air deflector. Now, normally an air deflector is actually going to fit into the whole area and have wee lugs to locate it onto the field so it can't actually rotate. Normally made of plastic. This here is made of resin or something, or fiberglass. It's just a flat disc. It's only just sitting here. It's only there to actually help funnel the air and cause the air to go straight down through the motor to help cool down the machine. If it's not there, the air's still going to move around, just not as efficiently. But ones like this I never really liked. They're not very good. They do the job in an air deflector, but because there's this little slit here, they can bend or warp like this one. She's bent up, started rubbing on the fan here, wore it away, and because now this is weak, she's bending up even more, causing it to rub even more. There's nothing really here to push this down into place. Don't think I'm going to have one of these, but we'll check some older machines, see if we want something similar. If not, I'm just going to remove it. Right, this is one of a Marcrist cord roll, an old Marcrist. This is from the DDM3. Even it wasn't really that great a machine, to be honest. Roughly the same, bigger inside diameter. But the outside diameter is a little bit different, maybe a mil or half a mil on it. Should do. It's a little bit slack. Hold on. That's too small for fitting on up here. And sure, the fan will be down further than that. The fan's actually going to be sitting all the way down here. So that actually has to sit inside that second circle. Down here. Yeah. There's actually a ring down in here now. Should cut track all the way around for that to locate into. So it's the track that actually holds this in place. It's not this here pushing it down. So she's made to measure. But why did it buckle? See what I mean? Why is that not sitting in? Oh Jesus. There's why. Bad design, that's what. Plastic handle on the bottom. It's held on by these 4 bolts. Where do these two come up? Right into that track, look. That is just a silly design there. In other words, once that motor was built, I bolted on these here handles. These two screws come up. There. And there. And pressed. That's your air deflector up. Buckle on it. Causing it to sit like this. And rub on the fan. So that was bad from new. How did somebody miss that in the design stage? Made that about 5mm too long. Either that, or it's been over tightened. It has actually been over tightened. They're all different, look. That's halfway in. That one's not on at all. That one's sticking it a little bit. This one's completely buried. And that's the downside of using a plastic handle. Not enough meat here and on the sides to stop the plastic deforming if somebody over tightens these. So on the assembly line, or if this is an assembly line problem, manufacturing problem, the drills they're using to drive these in are torqued up too much, the clutch is set too high, and they're camming out when they're in too far. Not good. What do I do here? That's just too loose. I have no supplier for these. Right, can't use that. Can't reuse that, too rusty. It's bent up this way, but if I turn it that way, maybe. Nah, safest thing to do is take it out. Remove that and take away the problem. But we'll also just change these bearings as well, because that one's gone. Now if you open this thing, hold it up, because there will be liquid oil on here. And if you do it on its side, it's going to pour out. It's nice to have these wee holes anyway, for prizing her up. Right, and there's okay. It's actually built really similar to the DDM3, the Marcrist drill. Really look like the same gears on it. Let that sit sitting upright so we don't spill it. And we'll focus on this. It doesn't feel bad in comparison to this bottom one when you turn it. There's a wee clicking sound coming from it. So it does need to be changed. So take it to the bearing press and press out this armature. It's actually not all that tight. Just get these bearings off now. These guys are at the bearing press already. Now, when you are changing the bottom bearing, always just change the top one anyway. Change them as a pair. This one, clearly gone. This one doesn't sound too bad, but it's completely slack. Way too much play in that. That one actually is about to fail. So if you're in any doubt, one's gone, change the two of them. Now the seal on this still looks good, so we'll just reuse that. All I need now is just two bearings. And one is a 6201. It's a Nachi bearing, not a bad name. And a 6300, and it's a TFI bearing. Again, not a bad brand. I only just got an order of bearings in a few weeks ago, and already I'm going to have to order more. Down to the last few, the 6200s. Now the top one was a metal shielded one, the bottom was rubber. I'd much prefer to fit a rubber seal up near the front of the gearbox, just in case that seal ever goes. It would give you a little bit of extra protection. Plus, that's what I have in stock, so it'll do. This bearing's actually held on centered by this rubber ring, so really there was no reason for me to take off this whole head. I could have just left that on the gear head itself, not taking this off, because really that bearing's not held on that tight. It should have pulled out by hand, but I didn't know that whenever I was starting. And if you're working on a machine like this and you're unfamiliar with it, don't assume anything. I could be trying to pull that armature out, and to all I know, there could be a C-clip or a circlip up at this side holding it in. You just don't know. Sometimes they're pressed on with the bearing this side here, and then held in place with a circlip. So if you're unfamiliar with it, take it apart just to be sure. But if you're looking at one of these in the future, you know you don't have to take off the whole gearbox head to take this armature out. You can just pull it straight off. Now the bearings on here should be fine. Can't imagine I need to change these ones just yet. Generally you'll get away with changing these bearings on the motor before changing these ones down here in the head. Now, it's not like this here's a mixing drill getting covered in cement and water all the time. She's water fed through the centre of the spindle. The water shouldn't be on the bearings themselves, and even still this end here is not actually running as fast as the armature. So the bearings on the motor are going to fail before the bearings up here. Plus these are much bigger bearings. They should last a lot longer. Should be changing these before you'll be changing these ones. That's it. Now leaving out the air deflector, we want this thing to actually turn, and that ain't that great a design to begin with. Now which one was the bad one? Was that one? The rest should be okay. We'll also just put a Loctite on. Now, if you ever are doing one of these, or any core drill or mixing drill, and the bolts do start to rust like this, that's a wet core drill. It's going to get wet, same as a mixing drill. The bolts are going to rust a little bit. But don't go on putting stainless steel bolts on thinking you're going to save yourself a hassle the next time round. Stainless steel bolts won't rust, but they'll react with the aluminium. if you put stainless into this, to aluminium body, you'll never get them out again the next time you have to open it. Them all started and drive them home. So now this should at least turn by hand. Much better. Brushes are fine in this. Shouldn't have to change them. They're not even halfway worn. Right, now for the all important question, what does it sound like? An awful lot better. Much better. That there is just a terrible design. These wee resin or fiberglass air deflectors, they're never great. Plastic ones have their faults as well, but the plastic one's going to be molded round in one solid piece. If they get too hot, the plastic ones can also melt. These don't melt, but because they're sliced here to actually get them to fit on, they just kink. So they're not solid enough. Or the likes of this here. Not great, to be honest. Not a bad looking machine, to be honest. And she's a good weight as well, with plenty of power. But a €1,300, she is on the pricey side, to be quite honest. Especially when using parts like that there. But on the upside, she is repairable. Looking online, you can actually get a breakdown diagram on this. So you can actually buy all the spare parts for it. And unlike the Marcrist I was talking about earlier, that only sells parts and assembly, so you can only buy the gearbox as one piece, the motor is one piece, and the handle and switch is one piece. This here, you seem to be able to buy everything. All the levers, O-rings, gears, switches, everything separately, so not too bad in that regard. But if AGP want to improve it, they might want to check out these two socket head screws and adjust how far they're going on their manufacturing. But anyway, that's her. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have one of these machines, hope that's helpful for you. As always, if you're liking them, give us a wee like and a follow down below, and leave us a comment if you have any questions. Cheers, thanks for watching.